If you left Jamaica 10 years ago and you've never gone back to Jamaica, let me tell you something. You won't recognize it the next time you go back because Jamaica is moving like a bullet. It's just like zoom, it's just going so fast. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel, Ayasa Talk. So just to introduce myself, I am Jamaican living abroad, and I really love to speak about my beautiful island of Jamaica and pretty much anything that having to do with traveling. I will be vlogging about that. So, but today I want to do a little bit of talking about the progress of Jamaica because I am just coming from Jamaica, and I'm telling you, Jamaica is not the same. It's not the same that it used to be 3 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago. But I was in Jamaica in 2023 and I went back this year, July of 2025, and there has been so much progress in a span of 2 years. It's like Jamaica just like is just propelling forward all of a sudden, you know? And I think it is really such a good thing. So here are the things that I observed while I was in Jamaica, okay? So listen, we already know that driving in Jamaica can be a little chaotic, and it almost feels to me like it is road rage. It's just so chaotic, you know what I mean, with the honking of the horns, and every minute somebody's honking their horn and you're wondering, oh my God, you know, are they trying to get my attention? What is it? Like, did I do something wrong? Like, you know, when you're not used to that environment, it can throw you off at first. And, but then of course, you know, once you submerge yourself in the culture, back in the culture, then it's not a big deal. But the first time I drove in Jamaica, oh my God, it was crazy with the honking of the horns and all that kind of stuff. But come to find out, it seems like it was really mostly the taxi drivers that were doing that. But this time when I went to Jamaica, I don't know what happened, but the roads just seemed so peaceful, so much more peaceful. The honking of the horns has died down, and overall, drivers just seems to be more professional, more polite on the road. Not that they're not professional drivers, you know, they're professional drivers. But when I say professional, I'm talking about just more polite. People are just so much more polite on the road. Now, I don't know what is driving all of this change. Probably it has to do with the current leadership in Jamaica. It looks like he's taking the country into a certain direction, you know, and I mean, I think it's amazing. And talking about the road, the calmness of the road, because the road rage that has like reduced so much. But let's talking about the road. Another thing that I observed when I was in Jamaica is the heavy policing also on the road. Police everywhere you go. Oh my God. It got to the point where I almost wanted to walk over to one of the police and ask them why. You know, why is it that there's police all around? But somebody actually was telling me is that it is also helping to reduce the crime rate in Jamaica. And everywhere has their issues when it comes to crime, trust me, okay? America is not innocent. Crime is everywhere. But I think it got to the point where Jamaica was on this international radar, and by having all this policing out and about in the public spaces, it looks like it is helping to reduce the crime rate in Jamaica, because from my understanding it has dropped a lot. If I'm not mistaken, 30-something% it has dropped, which is a massive change. Now the thing though is, I never really saw Jamaica as a high crime rate country, because I never felt insecure when I'm there. I never felt afraid when I'm there. I just go to Jamaica and I walk around as normal, just like everybody else. And I never felt like I needed to watch my back. But okay, I guess they say that crime rate needed to be reduced. So okay, it has. And it perhaps has to do with the influence of police in the street, you know? So that is like another thing that I observe in Jamaica. And because of that, I notice maybe that's the reason why people are so calm. I don't know. People are very, very calm. Another thing that I observed while I was in Jamaica, and I guess I'm just gonna have to say it because a lot of us can relate, right? Whenever you come from foreign, you can't fool nobody, even if you don't open up your mouth and say anything. They still know that you're not from around here. They know you're Jamaican, but they know that you don't really live around here. So it used to be as soon as you step out your doors, I've been in that shoes many times. As soon as I step out the doors and I'm going places, I used to have a lot of requests on a daily basis where people are asking me for money. People are asking me to help them out with something. And the thing is, because I understand the struggle, I would give as long as I have it. I would give. Because the fact that I've been living overseas for many years, it doesn't mean that I have forgotten where I'm coming from. It doesn't mean that I have forgotten my struggles. Because growing up in Jamaica, my mother used to struggle a lot. Some days we don't even know where the next meal is coming from. Okay? So when somebody comes up to me and they say, "Mom, me not eat nothing from morning. Please, can you just buy me a breakfast, just something for putting on my stomach?" If me have the money, I'm gonna do it because I understand the struggle. And also, there is a blessing when you're able to give, okay? If you have it and somebody's asking, give it, okay? Because there's a blessing in it. It's gonna come back to you in one way or the other. But I would have that request so many times throughout the day that I would go back home broke, because as soon as somebody walk up to me and ask me, I will break down and I will give it to them. I've had requests where somebody said, "Ma'am, you know what? I'm stuck. I need to go home. I'm a little bit short on my taxi fare. Please, if you can give me just $100 to make it up, and that's all I need." And I will give it, you know. But this time when I went back to Jamaica, nobody asked me for anything. Nothing. So that, to me, that means that the livelihood of Jamaicans are improving. And perhaps that is because people are now finding other ways and other means to make a living. I mean, now we have these social media platforms that people are taking advantage of to financially support themselves, you know? Because people don't want to really just walk up to you and beg. No, it's because there's a need, you know? Yes, they have a few people who make a living out of begging. Yes, yes. But most of the time, people are not just walking up to you and begging because they want to. It's because there's really a need. But yes, but as I'm saying, Jamaica, I've noticed like the livelihood of people have improved. The fact that last time I went to Jamaica, I spent 2 weeks. Nobody asked me for nothing except one guy that was out of his mind. They call them madman at Jamaica. You know, they actually literally live off the street. But nobody asked me for anything. So that means the livelihood of Jamaicans are improving. And that's a wonderful, wonderful thing, you know, to be in the position where you can provide for yourself. That's another thing. One more thing I believe I just want to mention real quick is, okay, this to me is funny. This has always been funny to me. It's funny in a sense where it's just humorous, okay? As I said, I lived away for a long time. I left Jamaica when I was maybe 12-ish, 13 years old. All right. And I don't always go back on a regular basis, but whenever I can, I will. But here's the thing. Now, as a driver in Jamaica, my first time driving in Jamaica, it used to be where if they're doing road work, they would fan you down. They will fan you down with like a bunch of bush. You just grab some bush off the tree, like a handful, like how they would make broom, and they would just fan you down with the broom, with the bush. But the first time I encountered that, I did not understand it. I was like, what is he doing? What am I supposed to do? Oh, wait a second, road work, they want me to stop. Okay. But at first, I didn't quite get it. And I just thought it was so funny because our people are so creative, okay? We're so creative. All right. So I just thought that was so funny. But this time, when I went to Jamaica, none of that anymore. I didn't see it. Road work was going on. Even in rural areas like where I come from, they were repaving the road. Massive, massive job they were doing. And they had a stop sign. They had a stop sign, you know, where they are actually directing the flow of traffic using a stop sign. Of course, they kind of have it on them head or the back of them head, that kind of stuff. But at least now they have a stop sign and they're no longer like fanning you down with bush, with a whole bunch of bush. So just to see these improvements warms my heart, to see my country progressing and moving along, you know. Of course, there's a lot more development going on in Jamaica, especially when it comes to the infrastructure. I'm telling you, if you want to see house at Jamaica, oh Lord, I'm telling you, it makes the homes here look like nothing. But I'm telling you, like Jamaica, man, people are living in these beautiful homes and beautiful apartments, and you know, it's just really amazing. And but anyhow, Jamaica is continuing to evolve, and I always say this: Jamaica will never be left behind in anything. Okay, Jamaica is highly competitive, so yeah, it's good to see my country moving on, moving forward. But as I said before, in a span of 2 years, just imagine 10 years. 10 years. If you left Jamaica 10 years ago and you've never gone back to Jamaica, let me tell you something. You won't recognize it the next time you go back, because Jamaica is moving like a bullet. It's just like zoom. It's just going so fast. It's upgrading so fast. It's changing so fast. And I just think soon we will not be in that category of being considered as a third world country. Anyhow, guys, thank you so much for watching my video. Please do like, share, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.